step on that battlefield, we fight for each other. Which is why it's so hard to give up that brotherhood. The only way out is right through it. I'm not gonna apologize for what I did.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the channel here. I am Nick, your host at The Plot Strikes Back. We're talking about Dark Wolf, the Terminalist prequel slash spinoff, I guess, if you want to call it that, here on the channel. Episode 5, entitled E and E. I'm, of course, accompanied by my fellow panelists and co-host, Mr. Gooch Primal and Vex. How are both of you doing on this fine evening today?
You're muted, Vex. I'm assuming she's busy doing something, so I'll say something. I'm good. I'm really good. I'm busy, like you said earlier. Like it's time. Where is it? Like it's like so much to do, so little time. I know it's insane.
Goes by.
But I'm doing good. This is a great episode. I really like this episode. This is probably top 3 episodes when it comes to this series. So again, a lot of setups, a lot of payoffs. It's just work of art.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with the amount of time that we think we have, but we don't. Vex is having internet issues.
Well,
it's just us men.
It's intimate right now.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no, it's okay. We've done this before, but yeah, I mean, for everyone that's new to the channel and hasn't watched Dark Wolf, we can't recommend watching this enough. It is a fantastic show. Some might debate that it is better than the Terminalist season 1. Although, Terminalist season 1 crawled so that I guess the Terminalist Dark Wolf could walk, and then everything else is just going to start running. Welcome back, Vex. But yeah, it is a fun show to watch. It's a fun show to talk about. And, really, I've had a great time talking with everyone on this as well.
For me, like when we talk about the 2 series, and when you compare them, like they're just too, like there's a lot of meshing, like there's a lot of setups and payoffs, like I said, but and meshing, but like they're 2 different stories, and like it's just one's the prequel, one's the obviously the Chris Pratt, but that Chris Pratt series, man, oof.
It's still really, really good,
that hooked me big time. I really, really enjoyed that series. Like, man, I don't know if anything can top that, in my opinion. Dark Wolf is very, very good. It's a very, very close second. Yeah, but for different reasons. Like I love it for different reasons. So
yeah, it's weird because they're in the same universe, but they're still very much different shows. Especially with the main characters. They're very different, even though they all worked together. They all in the same brotherhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're all frogmen, so it's really cool to kind of see their backgrounds. And as you said, this episode really takes things to a new level in this season here. In a 7 episode season, this being episode 5, sort of like what you said, the setup and the payoffs, they have to start coming together, and they have to end well with the penultimate episode and then the finale, of course. And I really like how this episode is divided between the main characters, with you've got Tao doing her thing, you've got Ben and Eliza doing their thing, and then you've got Rafe doing their thing. So that's kind of how we're going to approach this episode, and really talk about the character development for all of them, everything that they have to essentially endure and sort of go through. And it is quite interesting from the different perspectives of these characters, and like the challenges that they face in this episode alone. And I agree, like this was definitely one of the top episodes. I remember first watching this and going, oh my God, like I thought last episode was crazy with the ambush and everything like that, and the ambush going sideways, and then Ben getting shot in the back by Eliza, and with a twist as well. And I was like, oh my God, like this is great. I love this show. And then you see this episode, and you're like, wait, hold on. What just happened again? Like, wait, who is this guy that Rafe's torturing? You know, and I think that's an interesting starting point too, where at the beginning of this episode, it gives a warning and it says some scenes might be hard to endure, right? Because they want to give that torture warning, which again, very interesting. Because not a lot of shows do that. And I remember in my Discord, we were talking about other shows that have had torture scenes. You know, we were talking about like a 24 with like Jack Bauer as an example, or the show Homeland. There's a couple like rough interrogation.
Yeah, that was a lot of waterboarding and
yeah,
a lot of that stuff. Yeah, that was the soup du jour, I guess you could say, back then. Yeah, this one for me, what I like about this episode is the internal struggles that these guys go through, Rafe and Ben. And you could even throw in oh my god, why am I losing her name?
Elisa. Yeah,
you can even throw that in, where she's more conflicted of being, I guess, honest, and then Ben, you know, not resorting to what naturally he does, and then Rafe learning what is actually happening before his eyes. Like he's doing his role as an agent, but then when he learns of who he's torturing is just like to get information from, then that's like, what am I doing here? Like
right.
Like, so there's a lot of heavy, like, I guess you could say internal dialogue going on there with these characters, but like, man, it's beautifully crafted. Like I said, it's just a really well written and acted series. And I love this. I when people say, what should I watch? I'm like, Terminalist every time. Like, that's the show to watch. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. So
agreed. That's always on my to list for people wanting a new show. I'll ask if they've seen it or not. If they haven't, I'm like, cool. You definitely need to. 100% worth watching. Both, you know, and yeah, now especially I would say start with Dark Wolf going into the first season of Terminalist, just because it has a good flow.
I like the way, honestly, I like the way I watched. I like the way I watched it, because everyone is like, because I was really loving Dark Wolf, and then they're like, "Oh, you need to watch Terminalist first," and I'm like, "Okay, this is the prequel." And they're like, "No, you need to watch Terminalist." So I watched the first 3 episodes, and then I got into, and then I watched Chris Pratt's Terminalist, and yeah, I was sold right there. Chris Pratt, the way he acts in that, and especially dealing with the brain trauma, the tumor and all that kind of stuff, but and everything that goes on with that series. But like, I thought it was a nice blend. For me, it fit perfectly. It kind of squeezed in that storyline, kind of all fit together. I think it's the 3rd or 4th episode then I started watching Terminalist. But yeah, I like the way I watched it, because it kind of worked out nicely for me. But yeah,
agreed. I want to. So if we get into Tal, her storyline here in this episode, she's in Munich here, and
was this episode 5 or 4?
5. Yeah. Because she steps out, or so she's kind of waiting. Her mission, right, is to gain access to this portal in order to find out more information about the Shepherd, right? Like, because as we learn from Elisa, that she's Mossad, so it's like, oh, okay, well, Tal's also got to be Mossad as well. So at that point, they've probably got their own agendas, own missions, of course. So essentially, what's happening is, we already kind of see this man who loves crafting models, of course, right? So as we gonna play the slideshow here.
I can hear you.
Lovely.
Oh,
welcome back.
Thank goodness. Sorry about that.
Totally fine. I say we're just kind of getting.
Yeah, okay. This is throwing me off because this is later in this is the last half.
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm
It's
like,
it's not how it started. Yeah.
yeah.
And let's see if Gord's also accessible.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
we can.
Okay, good. Yeah, it was doing this weird thing where at first like it would not play in my headphones, and then I got it to, but it was playing on my headphones and on the speakers at the same time, so it was mixing it weird. So yeah, I had to do a lot of tinkering.
Understandable.
Tinkering.
I had to tinker.
Yeah,
it's so remember the Titans guy who used to be really fat.
Is it?
Yeah, that's him.
The guy
is,
yeah.
Ton of weight, chatted up.
Right. He always used to play the fat guy in a lot of like late 90s, early 2000s movies. And then
he lost
he lost a ton of weight like 10 years ago and became a fitness bro.
Like
good for him.
I thought it looked like him, but I was like, well, he's playing a German guy, so I don't know if it's actually him. But then I looked up his IMDb page, and yeah, this is him.
Yeah, you should actually take a look at the before and after photos. It's pretty astonishing.
I will. I mean, I remember what he looked like.
He's a freaking
remember
Chad.
the Titans, but
yeah,
no, that's awesome. Look at that, fitness bros coming together. Love to see that. Yeah, so we were just kind of getting into Tal's, starting with Tal's arc and development here. So it's just gonna play this little slideshow as we kind of get through it, but we learned a little bit about
this production value. Jeez.
Oh my God, stop it. But anyway, like he's kind of meticulous, which is interesting. Because if it's not perfect, and I mean, I can understand from having to paint like 40K characters, right? Like he's he burns the head off, and then he throws it in the trash. So it's like he has an expectation of maybe just his hobby, but also at the same time, it's like, is that also how he treats his job, his duty, his mission?
Well, if I may,
yes.
Sorry, Gord. Spoilers for season 1 of the Terminalist.
Plug your ears, Gord.
So when he shows up in season 1 of Terminalist, if I remember correctly, so he used to be in the SEALs with, Reece and all of them, right? And one of his job was to it was a very specific type of training and bonding. So when he's talking to Reece, when Reece comes and visits him right before he kind of starts to, really track everyone down, he tries to coach him through the precision and the timeliness that you need to have in order to enact this plan. So I think this is just a character trait for him. It is baked in thoroughly.
Is this the itinerary for the show? Yes.
You can unplug your ears now, Gord.
You can unplug your ears. Hi, Sherry.
Okay. I don't have to. I can change the avatar back.
Yes, you can. Yes.
Yeah, and I think for which I don't believe he has a name unless he has a name in the IMDb. But we never.
He does. I just can't remember what it is. I will say it's I don't love the setup to this particular scene. I think that given what she was having to do, it kind of just seemed like, well, she was waiting for him to leave and had no idea how long he was going to be gone. I was like, that's kind of stupid.
Well,
yeah,
it is. And I think two things. Number one, because he's meticulous, he has a camera set up, right? Just in the event that this happens, which I think it's like, hey, that's good. But also at the same time, man needs a cigarettes. I'm sure Goodwin would oblige with that, right? But he's safe. He covers his tracks.
I mean, I guess even that though, I'm like, you this is the guy.
It's
obviously.
Careless. It's like
this is
careless.
your guy, and that's it. These don't strike me as careless people. I'm like, this is your guy, but you haven't properly scouted him. That seems really careless.
Well,
it's weird because there's a lot in this episode that I really love, but this is probably the issue the episode I have the most issues with at the same time.
I would agree with you there, Gord.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Most of my issues lie around this part, which is why I wanted to address it first.
This part and the conversation between Liza and
Rafe, Ben on the in the couch.
Yeah, because I think he believes her way too easily.
Yeah, we'll get into that. He believed.
It's like he went with it on a feelings appeal rather than an evidential one, and I was like, I don't know about that.
I agree and disagree with you, Gord.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll wait.
We'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Mhm.
So for the sake of her not knowing how long he's going to be gone for, it's not like she was staking him out and realized this is how long it takes for him to leave his apartment to go get cigarettes before he comes back, right? Like that's what your experienced spy or intel gathering would require. And maybe she's so impatient because I do think she's a little new at this. She's not that governed in terms of like, what we've seen in other movies and whatnot. So I think that it's like this immaturity, and like she obviously is very handy when it comes to technology. She knows how to pick locks. So she does know like her, certain, spy crafting, if you want to say, but she's way too lenient and laid back with like just looking around his apartment. Yeah, exactly.
She's not seasoned, and I don't like. This is why I have such a problem with the female characters in this show. Is like Tall is introduced initially, and at least for the first 3 episodes or so, she's shown to be very, very, very competent, not just at her job, but as like a spy overall. So she understands what's kind of at stake, the risks that all of them are taking. And then in episode 4 and throughout episode 5, suddenly they do this weird twist where she's more infantile. I guess to make the character more sympathetic or to increase the stakes where you don't need to do it. The stakes are already so fucking high. It's nuclear weapons for Iran, right? And then the twist, like not the twist, but the story her character then follows for the rest of this episode also makes zero fucking sense as well. Not just for Tall as a character, but for the guy that she takes on who, spoiler, Gord, cover your ears. He gets he gets his face fucking boiled in this episode, and his face is totally normal 5 years from now in season 1 of The Terminal List.
Are you sure is that the same guy?
It's the exact same actor, yes.
Oh, interesting.
There's a
Maybe
massive
he just played different people?
No, it's the same guy. He's playing the same character. It's assumed.
So he didn't die then?
No, he didn't die.
Interesting.
So like there's a massive continuity issue that's introduced in this episode, and I'm not sure why, because the payoff for it is not worth it.
So I guess he might have just passed out from the pain then, which...
Well, that's what's kind of alluded, right? Like he doesn't seem to be dead by the end of the episode. He's just knocked out.
But he was shot like at least a couple times,
I know.
Burnt. I mean, obviously it doesn't smell good because if anyone knows what burnt hair smells like, I mean, the man had quite the beard as well. So that is very interesting. I can't seem to take a guess as to why or how that would be.
Like, I guess you could explain, he gets
writing.
his face, he gets like skin graft or something like that. But again, now you completely undermine the character who's just like so stoic and strong and actually was kind of a bit of a moral pillar for James Reece in season 1 of Terminal List.
Yeah.
Okay, you can uncover your ears, Gord.
It's so tough to talk about these things.
I know. Well, and you know what's interesting about this is she's looking around, and I remember the first time I watched this, and she's going through the shelves, and I'm like, the hell is she looking for? And then I'm like, oh, maybe she's looking for like a camera or some other clues, and then all of a sudden she discovers this camera, and she's like baffled, like, oh my god, I get the hell out of here. It's like you should have known that to begin with, like,
right? You dumb bitch! I thought you were smart. Like
that's
I thought
what I'm
you
saying.
Knew all this shit. Like,
well, and it's the fact, like, unless like I didn't see any prompt like from what she was doing beforehand to make her start looking for this. I'm like, you only thought to look for this once you got there. That's why it's like this scene bugs me in a lot of ways. Also, I kind of think, unless I'm just forgetting it, but I do not recall when Liza knocked him out at the end of the last episode. I don't recall her making any like call to Tall here. And I'm like, I kind of think you needed that, given what she tells Bindler that it wasn't them. And I'm like, okay, so if this was unexpected, I think you kind of need her to call her and say, we need to get, it's like, you need to get out of there now. Because if it's unexpected to her, then it would be unexpected at all that they weren't necessarily planning their exit from the group at that particular moment. And I'm like, you probably should have added that in, because otherwise it's like,
sorry,
go ahead.
finish with that. Sorry.
No, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
Oh, yeah. Just to add on to that, like this reinforces the point I made when we were discussing episode 1, that there are too many fucking women in this show and they don't need to be here. It introduces more issues in terms of why these characters are even here when they're so incompetent at their jobs. And it seems like their duties seem to flip depending on where the narrative wants to go. Right. So like, Eliza's like role in all of this is ultimately inconsequential. Like I think the both touching but problematic moment she and Ben have later on is wholly inconsequential when we see where Ben ends up in the terminal list, right? And then on top of that, it's like Tal, with literally no weapons proficiency, no survival skills whatsoever, manages to survive all of this and also bypass all of the shit that what's his face, the black dude, Haverford has set up to like keep himself safe, and she was not suspicious about him before this at all. Like the point for Tal seems more, it's like, oh, we can build the mystery a little bit more rather than being a genuinely plausible like secret agent kind of techie person or whatever. I fucking hate this character so much. I wish that she died in this episode. She's absolutely useless for the rest of the show. Like, you didn't need a full character dedicated to computer shit.
Well, at least you can have one, but it's like, why do they have to be Mossad anyway?
But they did it in Mission Impossible. Come on.
That's the other thing. It's like the Jew angle doesn't really work at all in here, because that doesn't ultimately play into how things end up by episode 8. They're also not even like referenced as friendlies at any point by the US government by the time episode 8 comes around. Like, why are Jews just in here because it's hot to have Jews and things? Are we so anti-Palestine or pro-Israel that we just gotta have good Jews in here?
I'm just imagining a Vex video about this, and like just having her do it in chapters, and one of them being called the Jew angle.
Oh my god! What's up, peepers? Yo, what's up, brawler? How you doing, man?
Hey, box office. Good stream earlier on Predator, by the way.
Get to the chopper.
What's the Jew angle in Predator?
There is no Jew angle, thankfully.
Yeah, I mean, like, I agree. Like, I think her character is the weakest of the bunch. I thought she was going to get axed as well here, because I'm like, oh, okay, like, there's no way she outmaneuvers this giant human being, right?
I mean, like, I get the point
of
their characters from the standpoint of what they're trying to accomplish with them, as far as like,
the dude just took bullets walking. Like, if someone walks into a room and you shoot him a few times and he still comes at you, I'm sorry, and he still loses, it's bullshit. I call bullshit.
Well, and that was kind of like the whole miniatures thing. I was like, it's a little convenient. Like when he starts showing, like, blowing the torch, he, like, burns the thing's head, and I'm like, okay, that doesn't make a lot of sense narratively unless that's there for a purpose. And then she comes in, it's like, okay, they're gonna fight, and that's gonna factor in. And I'm like, the way it all played out, I was like, it's a little too convenient for my taste.
I also, there's no I think, correct me if I'm wrong if you said this already, Gord, but it's never explained why Tal does all of this mission shit on her own suddenly.
Well, I mean, that's kind of back to my point about, like, we never heard Liza warning her, because it's like, okay, clearly this was part of their plan. They're both in on this this notion on this plan together to uncover the
they're separated. So like
there's lost communication there. That's what they're trying to gain, is communication with
the shepherd.
They're trying to catch the shepherd. But
I think they both knew that they were in on the same mission. I think they just obviously, felt like they would be smooth sailing, like there wouldn't be an issue. Like,
hold on. There's a bit. Okay, I guess this can probably get explained away. But like in the first 2 episodes, when we see Tal hacking stuff, she's able to do it completely remotely. And she's able to do this for like high security officials in government. But now it's one fucking dude painting like Warhammer 40K paintings, and she has to be in the apartment.
I mean, it's like well, the idea is that I'm guessing is they're trying to steal something that is like heavily encrypted, and there are times, I mean, they do this in stories a lot where it's like sometimes you have to take something directly from the source, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I think you can justify that fine. And her and Liza being separated and doing these separate things, I think you can kind of headcanon that they probably did have a phone call after everything went haywire, and that's all fine and good. It's just like I understand what they're trying to accomplish with these two characters, that they're trying to uncover the shepherd and all that stuff, but I'm like, how do you justify in narrative that they're there in the first place, though? It's like, I get what the writers are trying to use them for, but I'm like, okay, but you have to justify why the CIA would incorporate them into the plan in the first place. And I'm still not seeing that angle make a lot of sense right now.
Well, the shepherd was compromised. They took his phone. Like they hacked his phone. Right? Like,
yeah.
Well, that was the other guy, wasn't it?
She took remember, she hacked into Haverford's phone that the shepherd's communicating him with. That's how she knew where this was coming from in the previous episode. That's why Haverford is so pissed. And they don't know where Rafe is, right? Rafe has no signal where he is in Austria. Ben, obviously we knew that he was he was basically left for dead, even though he wasn't killed, but he was knocked the fuck out. So I think at the same time, it does make sense for them to kind of act this way, because she kind of went lone wolf. I mean, she can't rely on Eliza as well.
They hacked the phone. They just so happened to hack the phone right before they get jumped by a group that Liza was saying wasn't them.
You haven't watched the next episode, have you?
No, I haven't watched the next episode yet. So I'm like that's kind of what it's like. I'm not saying like you can't justify this, but I'm like, this episode raised a ton of questions for me.
I mean, but remember, the thing about this whole season is there's payoffs. Like every episode is a payoff to the next episode.
There is no fucking payoff for Tall. None at all.
No.
Hold on.
Remember, the reason that they were ambushed was because it wasn't German intelligence. So who else did it?
I understand that, but you're saying that there's a payoff for everything in the season, and there's no fucking payoff for this character whatsoever. There's also no payoff for Eliza, because again, like I alluded to earlier, based on what happens to Ben, what Eliza said and did and sacrificed herself for doesn't mean fuck all to Ben.
Well, she was, I think she was meant to be expendable, but also she's a bit of a crutch for Ben, right? Like, I think it's like this failed love angle where he obviously is divorced. Yeah, like he obviously uses her as this sort of emotional say bond, but this emotional
it's a crutch. It's a replacement for the marriage that he just lost. I understand that's what Eliza is for, but it just, you didn't have to, you could get the same point across without doing this, because as we have come to learn pretty intimately about Ben through this and the main series, is that ultimately romantic relationships don't mean a lot to him. All he keeps doing is he tries to mimic what he thinks he's supposed to do and what he believes will make him happy, when that's just really not him. And I understand that Dark Wolf is trying to explain that, he hasn't gotten to that point yet, but it's very clear from the get-go that brotherhood means a whole lot more to him. So you can have the same message come through without having to involve dumb fucking women, first of all. And you're also able to build up Rafe as a far better character in turn, if you get rid of them.
I'll say this, though. We do see that. We do see the effects take place 5 years later. He's not with anyone, right? He didn't get back with his wife.
No, hold on. I'm saying, even before the events of the Terminalist main series, we know that relationships don't really mean that much to Ben. We see how much he's willing to sacrifice for his brothers here. We see how much he's willing to sacrifice back home to make sure that in this moment where he is right now, Rafe, Reece, the boys, right? They're all going to be fine. So this is something that's already core to his character, that you didn't need to do the extra step of, let's just put this big nosed ugly bitch in here and have some weird romance thing that's not really a romance thing happen.
Well, I don't think it's a romance. I think it's more of an emotional bonding, because Ben is an emotional thinker, and the loyalty and the brotherhood, that's all true. And I think it's just a lot of naivety to a lot, naivete to a lot of things, especially when it comes to the I guess you could say the espionage game. So he's coming at it from more of a military style, Navy SEAL frogman style, but there's a lot of deception in the world he's in right now, and he He struggles with that. You saw that in the first episode where he was told not to kill or go after I forget the individual's name in the first episode, but he kills him anyway.
Al-Jaburi,
because he's that type of individual. That's why I think he's more, if we had a better, and you might know this, Vex, because you read the books, but his background, to me, it indicates that he was a lost kid, like an at-risk youth that was always needing that he needs that relationship with someone. He needs to bond with someone for him to move forward.
That's okay. That's a fair assessment. I actually can agree with you on a lot of that. I feel like it didn't need to be done using a woman. Like you could have done this with just the brotherhood sort of deal and gotten the same point across. I think that's the biggest issue because it feels like Eliza is ultimately a very useless character by the end of this series. Also, just to clarify as well, Ben is just a literally haha, pointy finger in his mouth evil guy in the first book that has literally no backstory and no character whatsoever. And he dies at the end of the first book. So it's a completely different, it's a 180. It's a completely brand new character, essentially in the TV adaptation of this series.
So do you prefer the TV adaptation?
Oh, way more. Yeah.
Well, Taylor is just phenomenal actor.
Yeah, his performance adds 50% to it, but just this I like of all the mistakes that novel adaptations generally make, this is probably one of the best changes I've ever seen to source material. It retroactively makes James Reese's arc a lot more meaningful and have so much more weight because throughout the first book you don't really get you understand just through his own internal monologue that the seals mean a lot and the brotherhood means a lot, but it's never actually dramatized through any of his actions throughout the course of the first book. So for them to change Ben to be a little bit more representative of that, honestly, phenomenal change. It was a massive issue that I didn't even realize Jack Carr had made in that first book.
I agree with you with the female aspect. You don't need the woman in here, but I think there's a couple things I think why we have this. I think
sure.
Amazon pushing that narrative, probably. Let's call it for what it is. Yeah. Amazon, they want their DEI in there, and B, I think filler. Somehow they have to fill in certain spots, and that's why we get these kind of scenes in here. That's
fair.
Yeah, and so I think it's a combination like that because I agree with you with the Tall thing. I was just like, why are we getting this with Tall? This, I don't really care for this character.
Yeah, look, his face is on fire, man, and he doesn't have any of this internal. It's
So yeah, I don't.
This guy's in the terminal list.
Sorry, that was the spoiler.
The guy that got set on fire. It's in the terminal list season 1. Oh my gosh.
Sorry, yeah. This is a character from season 1. Yeah.
Is it the same character or just the same actor?
It's Ghost Rider. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Johnny Blaze. Sorry.
What is this guy's name in this episode here?
Adolf.
Singe.
Singe.
Yeah, there's. I agree with you.
His name is Klaus. I'm not seeing him on the cast list for Terminal List season 1. He's not on it.
I don't remember him in the term list.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
He's the guy that so James, he goes to see a friend, and that friend used to be in the SEALs, and he's also in California, and he's got this retired bomb detector dog or whatever with him. And they have this entire conversation because now he's settled down. And unless I'm totally just making shit up and I'm insane, whoever
you're referring to. Well, here's the thing: whoever you're referring to, it has to be a different actor because he's not credited for Terminal List season 1. I'm looking at it right now. He's not on it.
I don't see Klaus as well.
Klaus is the guy's. His name is Klaus. That's. I do have that pulled up.
Yeah. No, I got that pulled up as well.
Vex is just making up scenes now.
Hold on. Now I gotta look through the IMDb.
Sounds great, but I don't. Vex is now working on Terminal List season 3.
The actor's name is Ethan Suplee.
Yeah.
And Terminal List.
That's a guy from.
That's Ethan Suplee.
Yeah, I
yeah,
just,
that is. Yeah.
I just
I
found
did
that
not
out too.
recognize him. Holy
Yeah.
Yeah,
shit.
lost a ton of weight. Good for him though.
Well, I knew he
I mean,
lost weight, but I didn't.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I looked at him like when he popped up, I was like,
Vex
"Is that
GPT
Ethan
is
Suplee?
hallucinating
Is
again.
that him?" And
What's
I
up,
immediately
Bill?
like looked him up, and I was like, "Yep, he's
Deutsch
Klaus."
writer.
That's right.
Vex has done so much reading today that she's
Yeah.
read
Yeah.
too much.
He knows a lot. But getting back to the towel thing, I agree with you, Vex.
Yeah.
But I look at it, this is probably just filler for this episode. They needed to add something, and who better than to get tall, like, because
Yeah, and I think to your point, like, there's characters that get added. You know, it's like obviously, like, you know, that Ben's not going to die in this season because he's in, you know, Terminal of season 1 5 years later after this point in time. So what happens? Okay, well, any other character's fair game, unless you've read the books and you know that, well, okay, Rafe is in the second book, right, called True Believer. Okay, so nothing's going to happen to Rafe in this season as well. I'd say he won't endure anything or you know, experience some messed up, you know, development, but anyone else is completely fair game. And that's what I thought everyone else was going to bite the dust, right? Like we see Ish come in episode 3, dies that same episode. I thought Mo was also going to die, but he didn't die. You know, obviously, I'll refrain from other spoilers, but like, again, that was my thought going into this. And I'm like, okay, anyone else could die. And right at the end of this episode, Lisa, boom, bomb goes off. She's dead as well. I thought Tao was going to die here as well. And I'm like, okay, well, she lived. She almost got killed off, but she didn't. So I was expecting her to, you know, maybe she'll die in the next episode because, again, like, there's no reason to keep her around. So she is a bit of a filler character at that point, which, you know,
yeah. Unfortunately, we do have to have that. And well, this is, I mean, as much as we want to rave about the writing and the scripts and everything, there is moments even in this.
Oh, fuck.
What
Okay.
happened?
What?
You guys are right. He's not in season 1. Oh my god. For some fucking reason, he's in the movie Dog with Channing Tatum, which is about a Marine that transports a dog.
And here I'm thinking I'm the retarded one all the time.
I know. I'm like, damn, it's been a
yeah.
while since I watched it, but like, I read the book too recently and not too long ago. I'm like, I don't remember it.
I just finished watching Terminalist. I watched it twice, and I'm like, what? Where the fuck? What?
Listen,
did I have a stroke?
It involves Marines still. Okay, so
I'm like, fuck, I need to get on meds because my brain is really fucked up. Sunday night was a prime example of that. Like, holy shit. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I need to just take a whole month off and not do anything. But
shit. Okay, yeah.
Thank God. Thank God.
Yep.
I'm alive, people. I'm still got it. I'm alive.
This is reality.
I'm so sorry.
Totally fine. I'm glad we cleared that up. So if you've made it this part, it was a slight differentiation.
A woman moment, we'll say. It was a woman moment.
Yes.
Yeah. As you're talking about women.
I know. that was the good part. Women don't need to be here.
Yeah.
Mistake by a woman.
Yeah, mistake by a woman.
Woman who definitely shouldn't be here speaks.
Yeah. Fuck that woman. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, I definitely think it's like that whole towel scene was definitely the weakest of this episode. Obviously, like there's some convenience with it. Obviously, with the blowtorch, it, you know, like, okay, yeah. Obviously, like, I was like, there's no way that he survived getting shot a bunch of times and his face burned. You know, but just so I wanted to start with that, get that sort of out of the way, and then we'll get to the good stuff here because
this pussified viewer warning did bother me. I was like, that was not graphic torture. Give me a break.
I mean, I think in some cases, like, you don't know who's. I
Hannibal
feel like
didn't have
us,
warnings on it, and it was way worse than this.
Hannibal the show.
Yes.
Yeah, Hannibal got away with
Significantly
so
worse.
much. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, but again, like, I think
No,
people
it's
have been.
I'm telling you, it's not close. And Hannibal
Wait.
is 20 times more violent than anything in this show.
Have you wait, hold on. Nick, have you watched Hannibal?
No, I didn't really care to watch it.
It's really
Oh
good.
my god. It's
Nicholson's
it's
Nicholson's good.
Yeah,
Mads
I like
is great
Mads Mikkelsen,
Hannibal.
but I didn't.
The show's really
to
good.
watch it.
The show
it's
is really good.
really good. Yes.
And
I'll
it
go
is the
watch a
most-
scene or something like that. But
watch
my
the whole
point
show.
is that people have been desensitized to these types of things, right? Like I've seen other movies and other shows. I mean, shit, I've seen real life, torture, and again, like there's things that people have become desensitized to. So seeing something like this isn't so much going to affect people, right? I mean, it's like you were saying last night. If you're watching Predator at age 5, and then you start to watch more and more things, that's like, oh, well, yeah, I could see how that could be scary. I could see how, people might think that's super violent or whatever, but like, and you can agree, like it is, but like, it doesn't, disturb me. It doesn't kind of put me in a way where I'm like, I can't watch this. Like I do need a warning, right? Like there's plenty of people out there who don't, really have watched the things that we've watched. Right. So I'm not going to say that it was wrong for them to put that in there, but obviously for people like ourselves, it is sort of like a joke. But I mean, again, like I think in some cases when I saw this, I'm going, okay, like you see the word torture come up. You're like, okay, well, that kind of ruined it to some aspects. I almost wish they didn't do this, period, because seeing what happens would have been such a big surprise for Rafe as a character. Again, I think it kind of took away from a bit of the reveal of what happens in this episode.
Yeah, it did kind of it undermined the tension. I still think it was. I still
it's good tension, but
I don't like the warning. I just don't like the warning. I'm like, if you're watching a war show and it's about Black Ops stuff, it's like this is the kind of stuff you should expect anyway. And if you're not expecting it, you're probably too young to expect it, which means you shouldn't be watching anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's like if this is a show aimed at adults, then I don't think adults need a warning for this kind of episode. I don't think it's that bad. I've seen worse torture scenes in movies and shows forever. And I'm like, what they imply is, kind of, it's like, okay, yeah, that would really suck. But it's like what they actually show. It's like, that's pretty, I guess it would earn an R rating. It's just, but it would be a hard R. No.
No. I would say that it's more PG-13, right? But,
it's enough to get the R rating, but it would not be a hard R torture scene.
Yeah. We'll talk about that a little bit.
If I may, I gotta say, Nick, your transitions, they really should have hired you on Alien Earth to get their transitions like spot on.
I don't see any Ice Age.
Well, the one thing about my transitions is that I don't use any sort of Peter Pan allegories in there, and I'm not a big fan of abrupt crossfades. I gotcha. One is fine in like an entire hour, but when you start to use like 5 in the span of 10 minutes, even me from like a visual perspective, I would probably start to get dizzy. So
if I ever do an Alien Earth video, I'm gonna have so many crossfades.
I'm worried about my new intro tonight. Then
just give me a heads up, Gooch. Be like, hey, just don't look.
That's
I'm kidding.
I'm
sure yours is a lot better than Alien Earth too.
On the note of like the viewer discretion thing, I get why it's there, especially when you kind of look at Netflix's formula with the autoplay and stuff. I'm sure there's a lot of people that just like, they just autoplay stuff and they don't know what they're autoplaying. So it's better to just cover our asses by saying, hey, we put it there in case you autoplay this, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not justified, but like I get why it's there is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, for sure. I get it. Yeah. Well, if that were true, then my name wouldn't be Nick. It would be Nicole. But
honestly, if Nick is trans, that's the best fucking tranny I've ever seen. Like that, like legitimately, that is the best looking tranny I've ever seen. Like you got me fooled, like for once.
Oh, geez. Talking about
Trans.
trans transitions. Yeah. When Ben wakes up here, I love the look that he has. He just looks so pissed off. He's like, "You've got to be shitting me! Like, I just got betrayed. This whole operation was probably, went sideways because of her, right? Like he definitely realizes, like, all right, you know what? It's time to hunt her down." And then like he gets this call from Haverford, right? Like you hear like the over like narration where it's like, oh, okay, you know what? Like, she's in Zurich. Your job is to go find her, hunt her down, right? And I mean, he does a good job. I mean, he obviously found. I guess I would say Haverford definitely used whatever tactics he had to locate her as well. So I'm like, I don't think she used maybe her espionage skills as well as she could have. I mean, maybe everyone else didn't really know where she is, but there again, like, then you see the Shepherd's forces show up. So again, that was like a bit of a tip off, which also makes things very interesting. Like, I thought, was that whole unit sent in addition to Ben being sent in, or was that like a backup plan? Like, okay, plan A is Ben. If that doesn't go well, then boom, Shepherd will send in his unit to take her out at that point. And almost like, hey, if Ben falls as well, then that happens too. But there again, like, that's something that Ben doesn't quite know. He's just like, oh, they speak Farsi. Like, well, that's interesting. But he doesn't really kind of put two and two together just yet because of what happens at the end of this episode. But we're gonna say something, Vex?
No, my cat meowed.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Why did you say that twice?
But yeah,
back on and hearing Vex saying, "Oh, my cat meowed."
My cat meowed. If we were talking about Predator still, I'd say something else. But I think I think it is really interesting how Ben is very forceful with her, and I appreciate the lack of trust that he has. Obviously, it's like he doesn't know much about the whole situation, but he's like ready to pull the trigger. And in some cases, I was like, "Do it, just do it, like get it over with." Like, I honestly thought he was gonna be the one to pull the trigger until it's this faint noise that he hears and of the wood creaking, and he's like find cover, right? So he somehow has still better senses after just being knocked out, maybe a slight CTE, who knows? But I don't know. Like, what do you guys think about this story that I guess at this point in time when she's like, I'm Assad, I do have
already
this
knew
agenda.
That. I guess the thing that's like the big question mark for this whole thing is, it's like, okay, so that was not her forces, wasn't Mossad forces that attacked them. So were they planning to turn on this group at that moment anyway, and they just happened to coincide? What was it about them getting jumped that made them turn, if not? Because like that's what has me kind of wondering what's, how's the show going to justify all of this? Because it's like that's either they had a plan in place in case they got jumped, that something about that forced them to say, okay, we've got to go off on our own and now we've got to leave this group behind, or this is kind of all contrived and not particularly well done. It's just like you've got a lot of things lining up all at once. It's like you're gonna have to do some serious legwork to justify it over these next couple episodes,
which they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I say, yeah.
That's good to know. That's good to know, because I mean, it's like this. Like I said, this episode left me with a lot of questions about the narrative. I was like, okay, it's like it's not broken or anything yet, but it's like, but you've got a lot of legwork to take care of here. So I'm curious to see how to line up.
I appreciate how he's like, no weapons. Like, it's like, give me a gunpowder. He's like, hell no, bitch. I don't trust you. Like, you shot me in the back once already. What do you think? I'm gonna let you do it again? And it's like, obviously she picks up a gun at one point when he's, busy, in a physical altercation, and it's sort of like she's trying to redeem herself as much as possible, from this point onward until he actually does buy into it, right? But I appreciate the fact that he stuck to his loyalty code, and I don't know. I'd say in terms of the fight that breaks out as well. I mean, I thought this was a good moment, like, to happen early on, of like having some action. I didn't personally think that either one of them would die in this mode. I mean, obviously Ben's not going to, but I think because I realize that there's going to be some sort of attempt at her redemption here, so I think she's going to make this. She's going to make it out of this part. But what happens after this? Obviously, we find out later on. But I do appreciate the fight that Ben has, like the one-on-one, while Eliza's kind of rigging up this powder bomb, right? Or powder grenade, I guess you could call it. Because it definitely felt real, I guess.
The action choreography was spot on for this. I will agree with you there.
Like, I did
the
believe
entire
it.
series it has, but
yeah,
especially here, it was very tight.
Yeah, I mean, I just these like small nuances, like I definitely felt like, especially when it happens right here, I'm like, okay, like this, I believe this. Like I could, it's not like Ben is a big dude, and it's like the fact that they're kind of getting thrown across the room with each other, and they're getting some licks in, but there's struggle. It's not like it's not like a crazy martial arts film or anything like that. But it just like, and it might not seem like it's much, but I think it's just some good attention to detail that persists in this action scene, because I think in some cases this is where you'll see in movies where it's like they'll maybe bend reality a bit here. And it's like, oh, come on, like no one would really escape that, or like no one would kind of take that sort of hit and be fine, with it. I mean, he takes some licks, he gives some out, but
I think the action in this sequence is pretty well staged. It's pretty good. I liked it.
See, for me, like, again, this goes back to the way they portray Ben and the acting. He's in that constant fight or flight, and he's very emotional. He's like in his brainstem a lot, and it takes a lot for him to get out of that. And this scene here, like he's like got the gunpoint to Eliza, and then it gets like he can hear the wood creaking, and he's like, because he's so keen to that, he's so aware to that, like his surroundings sometimes, being in a Navy SEAL frogman, that this is where he's going to get a lot of his frustrations out. Like you see him at his, like the height of his frustration, taking it out on the soldiers here. And then you see him kind of de-escalate later on. And that's where you see him still frustrated with Eliza, and then having that moment where he can actually have that conversation with her, because he's come down so much, so he can get back into his cortex and start thinking clearly. Because a lot of it with Ben, and I've seen the last two seasons, he's very, very emotional based. So that's where I always think he's a traumatized kid, he's an at-risk youth, and that's just him. And he needs that belonging, he needs that group. It was either going to be gang life, or it was going to be in the military and be a part of this safe group that's going to give him some kind of direction in life. So like this really solidified a lot of my suspicions with him as a character, and I really, really enjoy it. So how it was portrayed.
Yeah, I think it's like a good assessment there, because I wrote down on my notes that like he usually runs based on instinct, but I think because of what happens at the end of last episode, like he kind of goes through this like emotional crash, because he has these feelings for Eliza, and it's like Eliza, like he wants something to happen. Because I think it's like he thinks, because like we're kind of in this together, and even though we work for different bosses, even though on the same team, like maybe when it's all said and done, like we can have a life because we get each other, we get the job, and we can and again, I think he has this idea, and I would probably say it's delusions of grandeur that he thinks it can happen, right? He can almost kind of achieve what he does want, or again, wanted with 3 different wives, which has failed every single time, and thinks this might be my one thing that persists and actually goes through until she's betrayed.
I don't see that any kind of like romance. Like I mean, there's an attraction, I guess, there, but I see him more attracted to her as a mother and the daughter, and him like having like, because the way they set it up at the beginning show the family and him like bonding with that family and protecting them, making sure they're safe. I think that's what we're getting with him and Eliza, is that he's finding a new person to have that relationship with, and then when it's broken, that it kills him. It's like that you broke that trust, you broke everything that we kind of had going on here. Like I don't want to say it's more I don't want to say it's romantic. I think it's more of a, he knows that that can never happen. It's more of like he wants to be that, that uncle to, or that friend to, that kind of relationship. Even though she plays into it, I think that she thinks that there's like, he's thinking that way, and I think he's like thinking like, no, like he knows his relationships never work. Like it would never work, even though we think the same and all that. But like, there's, I don't know.
I think he's definitely a romantic. I do agree with Bill as Preston, but it's like, and it's not like your typical type of like outpouring romance, like, and because like, we know that they both care about each other, like they've actually verbalized like that they care about each other, but nothing ever really advanced too far. So it's like, I think like the normie type of romance that we typically see doesn't happen. And again, I don't know if that's just the way it was intentionally like written, so it's not like too lovey-dovey, which again I think would have definitely hurt the show at that point, and worsened their characters. But I think like there's just like, again, a hint of it where like it's I just maybe vaguely implied, but not to the point where it sort of derails them. But because again, I think what I'm ultimately getting at is that that's completely emptied out for a time. And kind of we were mentioning earlier, he trusts her again too quickly. It's like, I was like, I'm mad at you, but now I'm going to listen to you, and I'm like, she's going to put her hand on top, and then I'm going to put my hand on top of you, and like, and they kind of talk about, in this life, like, this is what we're doing, right?
Yeah, that's what bothered me. It's like he kind of gave into an emotional plea rather than an evidential one, and I'm like, I get the desire that he has to do that, but
what's up, Zax?
I kind of still felt like it undermined him a bit. I was like,
I don't think it's strictly a romance thing that's driving that scene forward. Is his best friend from the teams that also gave up his job and his was it his status to look after him is also gone. Like Rafe is completely gone at this point. Rafe isn't standing by anything he's doing. So I think like as much as Ben should be a lot sharper, I think he's feeling the degradation of his third marriage now. Then there's the loss of all of his brothers in the SEALs. Then there's the loss of the only identity he had in the SEALs. And now the only connection he still had from that is dead and not really resonating or trying to understand why he wants to do this so badly. So Ben doesn't have any connection with anyone. And here's this woman who's saying the right things at the right time. It helps that she's a woman too, because it's so much easier to believe a woman, when she's at least acting more empathetic. So I get why Ben is like this. I don't agree with it necessarily. Like I'm more on board with you, Gord, in that respect. But from a character perspective, I can understand why he switches like that suspicion off so quickly.
Yeah, it turns that switch up for sure. Which, again, that doesn't have any like real meaning, like true meaning behind it. Because
it's that nurturing that he, like, she puts her hand on his arm, and like you see him, the way he looks, the way he acts, and his mannerisms completely change.
Right.
And that's why, again, where I get to, that's what he needs. That's what he's longing for. And so like that trust starts to happen again. So
I guess my problem with it is they literally had a moment like that, the day before, and then she turned on him. And I'm like, it's, I know it's fool me once and fool me twice, but it's like, come on. It's like, I kind of suspected he'd be a little less trusting in that moment. It's like, you tried this yesterday and then you shot me in the back. So pardon me if I'm not quite there yet.
that's part of the game.
I'm not gonna disagree with you, Gord, but I will say, like, based on their backgrounds, and especially when she says, I would do it all over again because that's the mission. The mission comes first before anyone or anything, because it's for my daughter as well, which I'm sorry, my daughter comes before you, a man, a pirate, which I respect to a certain amount. But also, when she asks, what would you do in my shoes? And he doesn't answer because it's like, that's what I thought, because you would do the same thing that I just did.
Would I be sitting here with you right now?
Right. And he's like, exactly. Boom. There we go. So
that's what I mean, where he's de-escalating. Like, she puts her hand on his arm and you just can see his mannerism, and then he's starting to take the information more and start to think rationally, where before he's like all fight or flight. There's no thinking, it's just response. Right now he's in his cortex and he's like actually receiving, analyzing, and thinking about everything properly. And it's just like, okay, I get it. I understand, but I'm not gonna. He doesn't trust her 100%.
Yeah, there's still reserve, because I will say this, like, he's a flawed character that I think we can all agree on that, right? I mean, there's
brilliantly done, by the way. So, like, really, really, real well done.
Yeah. I feel like Vex would want to get this close to his face right here.
Bro, the scene where he takes his pants off, I was like, yes, spend more time there.
I got some shirtless slides for you, Vex. Don't worry.
This is like the only time I will ever thirst over a Canadian. Canadian men are so repulsive. No offense, Gooch. Otherwise,
thank you.
I think I've known people in real life that will, make the same mistake with women, sometimes the same woman, right? And
constantly,
yeah.
How many times do your friends are like, you're a friend and you're hearing like, what are you doing, dude? Like, dude, get out of there. Like, get it. Same with women. Oh, you can get a better man. Like, they stay. Right. They see all the flags,
dude, or leave them. Like,
they're talking about it. They're expressing all the freaking mistakes and issues that are happening in a relationship, but they stay. So no different than this. Like, but I mean, in this, it's like high stakes, but you know the game that you're playing right now. It's like,
I remember when my last girlfriend shot me in the back. I stayed.
Which, I mean, I appreciate it as well, where he's like, let me treat her wounds, because again, it's like no, I'll do it myself. I don't need you to do this, right? Because he's still pissed at her. He doesn't trust her. I was like, what? So you can kill me, right?
Yeah, I could have killed you. There's a reason why
she does say that.
Yeah. And
kind of makes you think.
It does. So
you made me the big Mossad.
I'm not. I am, instead of sad, it's I'm sad. I'm many sads. Much terrified.
Let me say, I hope he's in the new Call of Duty movie. Holy fuck!
I think there's a strong case that he probably will be in there, because he works with Peter Berg so much.
That would be total. I'd be totally cool with that.
Yes.
Yeah. Let Taylor Sheridan and write just a great
Peter
movie
Berg
as well. And Peter Berg, yeah.
They can't really do like the whole soap Captain Price thing now, because like the Brits have gone full British cigarette at this point, so kind of have to do military for the U.S.
Yeah.
I do have to bounce though. Sorry guys.
All good.
Yeah. I stayed way longer than I should have, but
I appreciate
this is a great episode. I love talking about this stuff. But we'll see you in a bit, Nick.
Yep.
Yes. All right, guys. Have a great night. See you, Vex. See you, Gordo.
Chat. You guys take it easy, bro.
Remember, stay Gucci.
Stay Gucci. Deuces. No, I was kidding. Yeah. I'd also like to add, Yeah, I think this is the part when he's like asking about the bearings, but yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know if I would have done the same thing here. Like I get her perspectives of the mission. You know, and I think he's trying to analyze it, and I think he could have. I don't say that it was a better written character. So I'm not trying to say that at all. I think if it was a different character other than Ben, then you probably would have seen someone that probably maybe could have said, I see your point of view about this, but I still don't trust you. And also, if you do anything like this again, I will kill you. Like you've done burned me once, but now like that's that. So
like this would have been like, to me, it's like the way, like if I were staging this, I don't mind like him, you know, seeing the possibility that she is telling the truth. I don't mind that at all, because I mean, we kind of obviously find out that, you know, what she's saying more or less is true, or at least that's the strong suggestion. She does die. But this would be more like the way I would more stage it is, okay, she puts his hand on his arm. I would not have him reciprocate that. I would maybe show him a few minutes later, maybe considering it, like, you know, kind of show him contemplating all of that stuff. And it's like he wants to believe her and everything. And it's like, I totally understand that. It's the fact that it's the reciprocation that bugged me, because I'm like, oh, so you're just totally on board with her now. It's like, that seems like a leap.
What's going on, Roman? How you doing, man? I agree. I think this show should get a lot more love.
Because like literally all he has to believe her from the moment she betrayed him to now is words. And it's like, okay, I get that there's some potential logic behind it, but it's not proof. So
I think this show is getting actually quite a bit of love. I don't know what you guys are. It's still sitting in the Amazon top 10 on streaming.
Is it?
Yeah, the Nielsen numbers all reported it in the top 5 every single
they
week
did?
it was premiering. Yeah, we went over this.
Well, he might be referring to like not a lot of people are talking about it.
Well, hold on.
Like,
social media is in isolation, right? Like, so I wouldn't use that as a extrapolated metric, but the Terminalist is getting a lot of fucking love. So, and it helps that Jack Carr just ended a book tour and he just had a brand new book come out on top of that.
Yeah, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the Nielsen numbers weren't. Wait, because you weren't here last week, right, Vex? Right?
No, I wasn't.
It's just me and Gord. So I think maybe when we talked about it 2 weeks ago, they weren't up yet. So are they up now on Nielsen?
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of the Samba numbers. My bad. Samba number.
Oh, Samba, right, that's right. Okay.
All right, yeah, because we did. You're right. 2 weeks ago, we tried to figure out Nielsen. Nielsen still hadn't updated. But Samba TV in the US at the very least, which is where the core demographic would be for this kind of series, it was like number 3 or number 4 every single week.
Hmm. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean it's still good for Samba ratings. But I mean I don't know if I see other people really talking. I mean, like, you know, people in that we know might reference it, right? But I don't see. I mean, I didn't see anyone else making videos or streaming this really, which...
Well, I mean, think about it this way as well. A video is far more popular when you're talking shit about something than when you're saying something good. And that's not just an isolated incident for like us and the groups that we operate in. That's just how YouTube is. People are more curious to see a negative review than a positive one.
Guys, listen. I know we all have to talk negativity here, but some positivity works.
That's just the way YouTube audiences are, man. It's that's just what they like. That's the name of the game, man.
I feel like we could do an entire psychological video breaking that down.
Probably.
Like why do our not to be
well, I do think
topic, but
part of it, like I understand an aspect of it, because obviously movies and TV these days aren't, I mean, generally speaking, are really bad. I mean, we're getting a lot more, like at least by averages, we're getting a lot more bad stuff than good, like on a scale that we're really not used to. So that's just the overall sentiment. But at the same time, it's like, it would be nice if we could throw in some more like positive break. I mean, it's kind of why I've geared my channel more towards talking older stuff. And I'm like, that's going to allow me to talk about good stuff, because the current thing does kind of suck, and if that's all you focus on, you're probably gonna have little positive things to say. And I'm like,
well,
I'd like to make some positive videos, to be perfectly honest.
it's easier to identify something you dislike than something you like, right? Because
Mhm.
right. And I feel like it's easier to find a middle ground on things you don't like than what you do like for most people as well, online in particular, because you can pick apart things that you dislike so much more than stuff that you really like. And there is, like, I would say, like, for a normie audience, while they can say that they like something, they can't really identify what it is about that thing that they actually like. They're just like, oh, well, I had fun with it, or I liked this scene, or I liked the action. It's very just bland overall statements. Whereas with us, because we're just more fine-tuned into this, we can say, well, I like the choreography. I like how the character was built up, yada, yada, yada. I liked how he took his pants off here. So
Yeah, I mean, I agree, and that's I mean, that's what I've kind of done on some of my videos from last year, and I mean, I enjoy making positive content, but I mean, not that I don't enjoy calling out movies or shows for what they are, right? If it's a hot mess, then absolutely. Like I mean, I think for the sake of what I've covered on my channel on these Tuesday shows, right? Like we started off doing Alien Earth, which was probably the hottest garbage in 2025, right? But then we get a show like this where it's like, oh my God, it's a literal night and day difference. And while again, the numbers for Alien Earth have been, precedingly better than Dark Wolf. It's sort of like, it's just kind of odd that that's how, again, like to your point, the algorithm has like shifts in that direction, shifts in that manner, because that's what people tend to click more to. And I'm not saying that there aren't channels out there or videos, or there are people out there who don't go or flock more to that, but I just think it's interesting from like your perspective or your point back, where like, why is this good? Well, I don't know, it's good, I just like it. Okay, but why? Right? Can you extrapolate more into
to this
that
particular point? Just because you have the image on screen, I'm willing to bet 9 people out of 10, maybe even a much higher ratio, would watch just this part of this sequence and not understand a very simple detail that makes this a lot better in the way it's staged. And it's like, okay, especially once you understand what these people are doing. It's like, obviously, we learn here in a few minutes that they're going to put that pack on to Ben and Liza's car. They're trying to kill them. But you watch the way this particular part is staged, and you look at the actions of the people on this motorcycle. They're checking all the cars. And I'm like, that is a very small detail.
Yep.
That is really smart.
Yeah.
I really liked that. I actually ended up rewatching this sequence because I was like, I really appreciate that little detail that you have them. Because realistically, they might know that they're in the area. They don't know which car is theirs. I'm like, I really like that they show the passenger looking into these vehicles to identify. It adds that little bit of tension, like, okay, who are these people and what are they doing? Because clearly they're looking for someone. I'm willing to bet 9 people out of 10 would not realize that.
Yeah. Yeah. Great point. And that was one of the reasons what I was going to say about this moment too, because like it has such a great setup, and like these small details matter. And I think the show does a pretty good job of that. Maybe not 100% of the time, but I think they definitely, it fits very well in high stake moments, vital moments of the show's episodes. And this is one of them. Like the old man that kind of looks is like, what the hell are they doing? Right. Up to the point where even when she's like looking in her mirrors, but the moment she gets that text message from Tal, she looks down, doesn't pay attention. Even Ben's not paying attention, and until he hears the thud on top, and then the bike drives away, and it's like, oh my God, he knows exactly what's about to happen, and he yells, "Get out!" And it's just like, by that point, it's too late. Like you could have, if you were paying attention to that point, you would have made it out alive, or at least stop, get out of the car and try to thwart the mysterious people on the motorcycle. But they don't even do that. So I feel like it's, again, a small detail from a text message that goes off that distracts the characters is, like, again, the setup to Eliza dying, which bye, but I was like, there's no way she's gonna live either. Being so close.
I honestly wasn't sure. I was aware of how they were shooting it. I was like, okay, they're not showing her, so they're at least hinting at the chance that she's dead. They're clearly trying to build that up, and I was like, but I honestly was not sure until you see her arm. I was like, oh, okay, so she is dead. All right.
Yep. Bye, man. Also, Ben's had a tough, couple.
Yeah, he's got to have some serious body concussion, right?
48 hours, maybe 72 hours. I mean, like
he's got to be freaking sore.
Yeah, I mean, but like to that point of like him being sore, like him, like episode 4, right? The van that he's in gets shot with an RPG, concussed, knocked out. Gets up, he's running and trying to take out people, befuddled as to what's happening. Eventually makes it down this hallway, still just like trying to pull himself together, and then gets shot in the back a couple times, completely stunned, and then gets knocked out again. Wakes up, obviously he's hurt, not moving well, wounded, then gets into another scuffle, another shootout, and gets punched, gets slammed up against the wall a couple times. He's obviously beaten and bruised even further, and now he's in a car here, maybe 24 hours later, right? And then almost dies to a car bomb. Like, I mean, the guy's gone through a ton of unfortunate events that have taken a toll on him, because it's just like, man, he's got to be so discombobulated, which, I mean, and I think maybe because he's able to take them out pretty accurately here. And I'm like, I don't know if this maybe speaks more to his training, because it's like kind of bomb and takes them both out, which it was nice. But man, like, he just has had a rough time. And obviously, it's like, well, all right, well, he's done. So, but yeah, I mean, it's I feel like for the emotional parts of him talking with Eliza here in this episode, I don't know if he's really affected by it. It's like, well, got the briefcase back, but also now I have this. Do you think he should have taken the little bracelet? I mean,
I understand why. To me, it's like that kind of shows that he does believe her and everything. And it's she's likely not, however she gets buried or whatever, it's probably going to be pretty unceremonious. So I think to him, it's like a reminder. And I think it's kind of symbolic of him taking up her cause.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really funny that a Jew gets blown up when that's what they're just kind of doing in Gaza Strip right now. But
Jesus.
I'm glad Eliza's dead, not because she's Jewish, though that helps, but just because she's useless.
Oh gosh. Before we talk about the last part here with Rafe, see some of these chats here. I would argue positive content is harder, maybe because there's far left to be positive about.
That's kind of what I was saying earlier. It's like like most movies today are garbage, so it's not a whole lot of positive stuff to talk about. But it's kind of, again, that's kind of why I like. To me, it's like, it's fine. It's like, I always laugh when people bring, it's like, oh, you're talking about that movie, it's been out for a while. It's like, what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
What the heck is wrong? We're talking about a movie that's been out for a while. It's like, as long as you make something interesting off of it.
Also, just on that point too, like 2025 is the only year where it's felt like content has been a struggle. I did not feel it the previous years, but that's because I'm not watching everything that's mainstream, and I'm also not, I guess, a classical nerd, you could say. I don't care about Star Trek or Star Wars or Stargate or anything with a star in it, really. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, there's been a few like bad things that have been worthy of talking about, but most of it is just kind of what we expected,
I don't know, so one of the ideas I actually had,
I disagree, Waylon. Oh my god, you're so fucking wrong, Waylon. I'm gonna slap you upside the fucking head, Waylon. Sorry, Nick.
You're fine. I had an idea actually, because there is the what's up, Draconis? How you doing, man? Hey, we talked about that last night. Because there's a bit of a gap as to when we'll finish talking about this until like Fallout Season 2 starts, right? I know we talked about maybe doing an episode like as a Season 1 recap, maybe of Fallout. But I thought for the other week, we could maybe do a tier ranking of the shows that came out this year, which I think would probably give a good compare and contrast to 2024 of last year, because there's a lot of hot garbage this year that
I'm trying to think. There's only 2 good shows that came out this year. I haven't watched like Landman and all that stuff. So
yeah, and that didn't really even come out this year.
It's not even out yet. Like, I mean, that starts the 18th or 16th, I think. So like, I mean, that's like a super end of the year. Like you could argue like that's like also a 2026 show, because it's like you kind of
wait. What was the second good show?
Common Side Effects.
I'd say
was that 2025? I thought that was last year.
No, that came out the very beginning of this year, January 2025.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
What am I thinking of? Mobland.
It's listed as 2024, but I don't know what the American premiere date was.
It premiered in 2025. I think I remember hearing in an interview that it was
February 2nd, 2025 is when it premiered in the States.
Has Been Hotel. I don't know what that is.
It's gay.
I'm aware,
don't worry about it.
Yeah, I've heard it's really stupid. I know Hosty hates it. That's what I mostly know about.
Gotcha. Is that why you're watching it, Hosty? I see you. I think Mobland, again, I haven't watched, but I've heard, a ton of people give rave reviews about it.
Same here.
I would also say a show that I didn't really know about, I think, until I had a conversation with Gooch and Zax on, was Paradise.
Never heard of it.
It was a Hulu original show, but I actually really liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
I know very little about it.
Dan Fogelman.
James Marsden's in it.
Yeah, Dan Fogelman. He did. Shoot, I know he was one of the writers on Tangled.
Yeah, it's Crazy Stupid Love for me.
Oh, did he do Crazy Stupid Love?
He did, yeah.
Did he write?
Dan Fogelman.
He didn't direct that, but I guess, what was he, a writer on it? Okay.
Yeah, what else is Dan Fogelman?
He also did the original story for Cars too. So.
Cars.
Whoops.
Fred Claus, Bolt, Tangled, Crazy Stupid Love, Guilt Trip. But television-wise, he's done, let's see here, television films, like Family, The Neighbors, Gallivant, Grandfathered.
Oh, I remember
Pitch.
seeing a promo for this show. Okay. I didn't watch it though, so it was good.
I really liked it, yeah.
Okay.
There's a particular episode. I had thought about, suggesting that as a show that could be covered. It's only 8 episodes.
Sterling K. Brown is one of those actors I want to like, but he was in The Predator.
He's a lot better in this. Yeah, because I think
I can't help but hold that against him at least a bit.
I mean,
and he had the most laughably stupid death in a movie filled with laughably stupid death.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be the main human villain, and he just dies and no one even reacts. It's he just got shot in the head. It's okay.
I do like James Marsden's character in this though, but yeah, there's a particular episode, I won't say which one it is, but I thought was very, very well done. Super high tension. The score as well, obviously, I think, ascended it, but even then, just I don't know. I would suggest checking it out. That was another show I was suggesting earlier this year. So yeah, it came out at the beginning of this year, actually. Yeah, January 2026. So, but yeah, that was an idea I thought about doing. I haven't seen a ton of shows. I've heard about a ton of shows, but could be could be worth talking about. I'd say so. But anyway, getting back to our boy
Austria.
Rafe here in Austria. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Vex, the Jewish woman dies, and now we get to go to Austria.
Hell yeah.
Transition.
Hell yeah. German car. Hell yeah.
Yep. Interrogating a German intelligence soldier. Yeah.
Great scene, except for how he just dies after he reveals. I'm like, oh, okay, that sucks. I'm like, that's a little plot convenience there. It's like, oh, sorry, that one piece of they trickled out a piece of important information, but oh, sorry, he died. It's like,
can you go back one shot, by the way, where he's standing in the field?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Bro, I loved this shot actually when this came on for the first time around, at least. This is a gorgeous shot.
It is.
Also, it kind of felt like it mimicked Rafe's background really well. The whole like from South Africa, grew up like on the game preserves, hunter and whatnot. He's used to being alone in the wilderness. There's a lot of subtext to just a single shot.
Agreed. Yeah. It was weird. Like it kind of felt like he was a little bit like at home, or maybe like a reminder, like he's been here before. I feel like if this was done by someone else, we would have seen like a cut to like him being a child, and like running around like in slow motion with like an older fellow who turns out to be his uncle and like, killing, some sort of beast, right, that he talks about. That weighs 800 pounds, as he explains to the German soldier.
No. You're underselling that big time. He said they weighed he said they weighed a couple thousand pounds.
What? Maybe I think he says something as 8,000 or 800 pounds, right?
Not when he's referring to what he's hunting. He says it's like they weigh 2,000 pounds and go about 35 miles an hour.
Oh, that's right. Maybe I'm thinking of something else then. But yeah,
like the whole, like all the the dialogue in the scene was really strong. Like him, like kind of building up the tension, because part of like a lot of the torture you see in shows like this and is you have to add like psychological, like you have to scare them and then you have to do it. And I'm like, okay, all that is done really, really well. I liked all of that. It's just the fact that he died right when it was least convenient. I was like, come on, you didn't have to do that.
I mean, I would disagree with you. It was a bit convenient, but I feel like it was, like if he was left alive, like what's I don't know how.
I don't mind the idea of him dying. It's just you picked that moment to kill. It's like, okay, he just gets that piece of information. I would assume he's tortured someone before, so part of what you learn when you torture someone is how to keep them alive. That's kind of one of the big parts of it, and didn't really even look like he did enough to kill him. And I was like, okay. He just happened to die right when he got a really important piece of information. And I was like, wow, that sucks. Like just narratively, I was like, that's kind of lame.
I would say in terms of maybe what could have helped a little bit is like maybe the passing of time, like, because did this happen on one night, right? Or did it span a couple days of him?
I thought this spanned at least 2 days, given the timeline that Ben and Eliza go through, because that takes place over basically 2 days. That's just the assumption I ran with. Yeah,
that could make sense. So I mean, so again, like, and he does make the point where he says, neither one of us are in control here. If you think you're in control or I'm in control, like the only thing that's in control is time. Time will tell what happens here. It's like, where your body's going to give out or not, which, I mean, I liked this close-up shot. I thought it was like pretty good.
Nice effects.
Prosthetics. Yeah. So like the way he just kind of cuts into it. I mean, like, again, like I'm sure like it's not super grotesque or anything like that, but I think just the idea of having a wound be stitched up and then cut open again.
And then him stretching him the way he did, like where he used basically just gravity to torture them. And it's like, the psychological aspect of this scene is great.
Yeah, I feel like it is like, you're right, Gord. I think it's more of a psychological torture than it is a physical torture, right? Like
Well, the way they incorporated the
body or the mind.
Yeah, the lie thing was really cool. Although the only thing that bugged me about the lie was, dude, if you're holding out like a powdery substance that's gonna hurt on contact in front of me, and I'm like, I know I'm gonna die, I might be inclined to blow it into your face. It's like I don't know if I'd be dangling that in front of a prisoner's face if I think he's hostile.
Yeah,
especially because he thinks he's like, he thinks he's part of like the Middle Eastern. It's kind of funny though that he can't discern a German from a Middle Eastern guy, but that's neither here nor there. But
is it really here or there, Gordon?
They are in the same country.
I was just like, I don't know if I'd be dangling a dangerous powdered substance in front of him when he can just blow on it. I might tape his mouth shut. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say in terms of I mean, we've seen that before with the whole water, like, oh, you want this, like, and they'll dump it out, or they'll just kind of drink, drink it in front of them, like, but, yeah, I mean, it's going to sound weird for me to say this, but, I think the idea of using gravity was a good tactic.
Agreed.
I think it's a better way of phrasing it. Like, it was smart in that aspect of the psychological warfare, and like, but I think too, I mean, if you have the knowledge, if you're this guy, right, that's being tortured, and you could have a sense of like, man, I know I'm fading, and like maybe I can make it out alive, but like, what's the point of holding on to that knowledge of saying I'm just German intelligence, because like and then he says like in his last breath, it's like, it wasn't us, we didn't ambush you, we didn't think that I get why
he held off. He doesn't know who he is either. So he doesn't realize any more than Rafe does that they're both friendlies. Neither of them are aware of this fact. So
true.
I'm like, okay, that's all fine and good, but
and he did. I mean, I will say he does think like he's a mercenary, and I feel like, if Rafe could have maybe led on to something, because he does talk about like, I lived in Africa, and like, my uncle had a hunting gaming reserve, and from a childhood, this is what I grew up with. This is the everything in my life was a lesson, and that's just who my uncle was, and that's who I am, and this is a lesson for you. So obviously talks about having to dress things out in the field, and how you had to soften up the bone because it was so tough, right? But I wonder if Rafe would have given him just a little bit information to show and to say like, I am friendly, and then, hey, maybe he just opens up after that point and is like, it's like, well, he used to be in the forces.
That would undermine Rafe's stoicism actually quite a bit if he did that. I completely disagree with that recommendation.
Okay, that's fair.
You idiot.
Well, hold on. Let's counter that. What if we count? Okay, what if I counter that with this? Because he's not. He feels bad that he killed a friendly.
That's
right?
fine. Yes. Yeah.
So should Rafe have figured that out before it was too late? And obviously that's the information he's trying to pull from him. Mm-hmm. But if again, he gives him a little bit more information about his childhood. Like, why would you talk about your childhood unless you're trying to improve your torture tactic? Mm-hmm. I think in some cases,
obviously he's talking about his child. He's building up the psychological, like that whole sequence is him he's telling a story to build up tension for this is really going to hurt. And
it's more so like if he would have said where he was, or like, because he says like, I was in Africa as a child, and he goes, but I've been,
he's not going to let this guy live, and this guy knows he's not going to let him live. So I don't think it's not a question of, he's certainly not worried about the information he's giving away. Cause it's like, if you're torturing somebody who you consider an enemy, and the impression is, we're enemies right now, then it's like, okay, we both know you're not getting out of this alive. So it's just a question of, how fast or how slow it's going to happen, how merciful the death will be. So that whole thing was like him telling a story to build up the tension of, I'm really going to hurt you. And I'm like, yeah, all that I was totally digging.
But also like they're way out in BFE, right? Like who's going to know that this guy was tortured by Rafe?
Well, I mean, but what's that matter though? All he's trying to get is information. He's
But why is Rafe so freaked out at the end after he dies?
Hold on.
He's freaked out because he's a friendly. So that means that.
But who cares?
That would mean that no. What I'm saying is, well, hang on. What I'm saying is that the fact that he's a friendly tells him that there's something wrong with the mission.
Right.
That's the problem. Is like he realizes, oh, this mission is not what we think it is. What's going on? A friendly means this is an ally. So they would be working. They should be working with us. What's going on? Like this is where he's like he should know at this point something is wrong with the people I'm working for.
Right. So when Rafe initially is approached by Haverford in that hotel in episode was it beginning of episode 2? I don't remember. At the beginning of the series. Right?
2, yes, 2.
Yeah, he's been suspicious this entire time. He's known the entire time that there is something up with Haverford, that things are just not lining up, and that's what he keeps trying to tell Ben. In learning that this is a friendly, this means that he's been working for the enemy the whole time.
Yeah.
Nothing he's been doing for the last few weeks has been truthful or good in any way. It's not helping his teammates back in Reece and the boys, as well as, which is what Ben was trying to do. So it's a really big deal, Nick. What are we doing here?
This to me is why it's so annoying that he just up and dies at the most inconvenient moment, because the reason why Rafe is kind of freaking out, it's yes, there's a moral component to it, but it's more, I need to know more. What's going on here? This is a huge revelation, because it's our mission's not what we're being told.
This could have been his evidence to show to Ben as well, to pull Ben out of this before it went too far, but then the guy kind of dies. So
I mean, I get if he would have lived, then they could have used more information
I guess what I'm saying
more
is
of the truth.
The moment he says you're a friendly, if the German lives and realizes, whoa, we should be the German would also realize we should be working together. Like I said, before that revelation, neither one of them know what side they're on. So, if the German had known initially, oh, you work, because it's not till he reveals you're friendly, he says you're CIA. It's oh, it's just as much of a revelation to the German guy.
I think,
but he didn't confess that he's a CIA, though. He didn't say. I'm
saying was when he said you're a friendly, that was Rafe realized, because once Rafe realized he's German, he's like, you're a friendly, and then the guy basically looks at him and he goes, you're CIA, basically. That was him realizing at the same time, it's oh, we're actually supposed to be on the same side.
Right.
So if he had lived, he probably would have told him everything.
Also, Gord, I just got to correct some of your pronunciation. It's not the German, it's the German.
Oh, right. Yes. Duh.
9. No.
Mine bad.
Mine bad. I thought it was an interesting scene, not to move away, but it's interesting how he looks at the phone and kind of just this scene, this face he makes right here, where I don't know what you guys thought about this, where it's do you think he was wondering where everyone was, is he the only one that is alive at this point? There's been radio silence, right? No one's contacted him. He hasn't, been able to contact anyone else. There's no messages, right? So is it the lack of communication that has him wondering, it's up to me now to figure this whole thing out? So there's number one, there's weight, but also the realization, if everyone else is dead, what does that mean? Damn, I just lost Ben, my brother.
I think it's a mixture of things. You're not off point. I think it's a mixture of oh, I just have intel that everything we've been doing is wrong. How can I tell everyone without any evidence? Where is Ben, my brother? What is the status of the mission? What have we been doing this whole time? Am I completely alone now? What other information do these people have on me that they're going to use on me now that I know I haven't been working I've been working against friendlies the whole time? I think it's a rush of emotions, more or less. And realizations. Sorry.
That's fine. So I would say, in terms of this part here, salt in the open wound, it's this knowledge through suffering. But again, once he does finally uncover this truth, and again, it is too late for that point. Do you think he him freaking out is a bit of like an existential crisis. Like he has become the thing that he is tried to prevent to become, and like obviously has like kind of trained to combat against.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's that, and it's like I said, it's like once he realizes that, oh, we've got a friendly after us, he's like, okay, something's wrong, and you know, my brother, like if he's still out there, he's in danger because he doesn't know. It's like it's a big deal. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, I do appreciate his moral compass here. I won't deny that. Yeah, this would be the part where he just blows it into his face, but I don't think the guy's got any breath to blow it in his face. I don't know if Rafe just wasn't concerned at that point. It's like whatever breath this guy has left, he's just using it to stay alive, not blow this in my face. Because, you know, I mean, what's that going to solve? Rafe's not going to die from that. Like he's not going to unchain.
Well, no,
himself,
but it's like, well, if you truly, if I were the person in Rafe's shoes, there would be part of me be like, well, this guy probably knows that I'm going to kill him. So I'm not going to put lie in his face that he could use just to hurt me, just as an FU, basically. It's like, because, yeah, I know some people fight, they might very well do that.
I mean, sure, but it's sort of like, I mean, joke's on you. I'm going to live here and you're going to die. But, you know, I mean, he could have just got up and then proceed to put more salt in his wound. Like, it's just like a temporary fuck you, right?
Oh, if only that were merely salt.
I know. I'm just using it as
lie is so much worse.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying like as a analogy here, right? Like, I mean, I think for this guy, the German soldier, another question I had was, let's say as an example, hypothetically speaking, he lives. Rafe saves him. Do you think he doesn't hold a grudge, or doesn't kind of like, hey, this guy almost fucking killed me, and they tortured the ever living shit out of me? Like, do you think that doesn't come back?
I think they're soldiers.
To Rafe at all?
I think they're soldiers. I think they know what's what. I think if they're both intelligence they work for their nation's intelligence. They know how the game works. So, you know, he may not like him, but you know, the mission's going to come first. And if they know they're friendlies, it's like, okay, it's not merely
water
the
under
fact
the
that
bridge.
We're supposed to be fighting for the same thing. It's like, look, it's, you know, it's what drives this whole thing is like the mission, and you know, we're friendly. So it's like, I can't just kill you just because I'm mad at you for torturing me based on information you didn't have. Now, obviously, you know, you would probably have to write in, it's like, you know, how he would die otherwise. Cause it's like, you know, Rafe, it's like he would be a liability for Rafe. Rafe couldn't obviously like bring him along or anything, but right. It's just the way it's like, it's like,
but he can help him get back to who he needs to go to.
Yeah. It's like, or you could obviously, you know, have, you know, when he's going back to try to solve things, the German guy just gets killed or something like that. But
this scene's for you, Vex, by the way. This scene is for you.
Oh,
the veins.
Just feel like a fucking rock. Jesus Christ.
Pushing down hard on something.
He should be called the Colossus of Rhodesia.
Colossus of Clout.
I like that. I like that.
Nah, and so this sort of kind of reminds me of again when Elisa says, would you do the same thing? And Ben's like, doesn't respond, because it's like, yeah, you would do the same thing. So I to your point, Gordon, to what I was kind of alluding to, is that I do think that I think that's it, but I do think that if the tables were turned, that Rafe would be the one getting tortured to get information from, you know, obviously he wouldn't die if he was the main character, but same thing, like if this wasn't a show and it was more so like quote unquote real life, like I think, yeah,
to hold two grudge, they were shooting at them.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah.
So,
I mean, well, he did get shot in the car. So I guess they shot at him first, but yeah. But anyway, final thoughts about this episode. We've been rating them, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to give a brief rating to this episode?
I I mean, there is a good amount of intrigue that I'm curious to see how they'll tie this up over the last couple episodes. I think it's definitely the most flawed episode by far. So I'd say it's somewhere between like a 6.5 or a 7 overall. It's one of those episodes that if they do tie up what they can, that it might improve it on second watch. But there are things in isolation that are pretty, noticeable problems, and more so than other episodes. So yeah, I couldn't go higher than a 7 for it.
Interesting. Vex, what about you?
I give this episode a 7.5 shirtless Taylor kiss out of 10. It's a solid episode because we get kind of like the most Ben character work, I feel, out of this episode. Because spoiler, a little bit gored. It feels like his character development gets a little bit forgotten for the rest of the season. Just to push the conspiracy and the actual plot to the forefront a little more. Not a fan of Eliza. You know what? Actually, no, my ratings to go down even more. I'm gonna say 6. That scene with Tall was so absolutely dumb, and like this, I understand that the show kind of gives a disclaimer of, we're trying this doesn't depict real events, but the show really goes out of its way to make this look realistic, right? Like the action sequences alone really sell that to you, and to have like this, chubby 160-pound woman with literally not an ounce of muscle on her take on this hulking like dude like in his apartment and burn his face is absolutely insane. Like that broke complete immersion for me and did significantly bring down the show as well, because her arc is just absolutely pointless. Her involvement in the story is pointless. Again, you undermine the character you've built up in the first few episodes by making her an illogical dumbass, which I guess lines up with being a woman and Jewish at the end of the day. Yeah, I like what they do with Rafe, the torture scene. Like, it wasn't too gruesome, but like I like where it ended up. I think it does a lot. Like, Rafe got a lot of good character work here too, even though his scenes maybe took up, I think it was like not even 10 minutes of this entire episode. So the emotional bits with like Ben and Eliza, they're like, I understand why they're there. I agree and disagree with them, which we already went through. So, but this is like weird. It's simultaneously, strangely, the strongest and weakest episode of the season. For different reasons.
Yeah. I mean, I had just written down, like, I thought it was like a 7.5. I mean, I probably wouldn't go any higher than that. I mean, there's things I enjoyed about it, but I think it mainly it revolved around Rafe, his character, and his scene. And there were parts I appreciated about Ben's character and his development this episode, but yeah, I mean the sudden jumping back on the ship of like, oh yeah, now I'm Team Eliza again. It's like, I mean, I probably wouldn't have been. I get how, again, like we were talking earlier, that sometimes guys do repeatedly dumb shit with women, sometimes the same woman, in terms of trusting them. And I mean, women do as well, but and again, like the whole Tao's whole scene for me is like the worst part of this episode. I mean, still very enjoyable to watch, but yeah, it's not the best episode this season. I'll say that much, because then we've got 2 left, and I don't want to spoil anything. But yeah, so I think that'll do it for this episode, for episode 5, E&E, with Dark Wolf here. We'll do episode 6 next week. Gord, do you want to give the fine folks what you're going to be doing this week, and what you got going on for the channel?
I'm working on part 2 of my Killers breakdown, and let's see. Other than that, I mean, obviously I'll be on Niet's show Sunday. I might be there Friday also for The Shining. I'm just not sure yet. True.
Vexy, what about you?
Damn, Niet might have to fucking cancel that Shining stream, because I'm pretty sure I won't be able to make it. Predator Badlands, I'm seeing it at an early screening tomorrow night, and I am dedicating the next 5 days to finishing that video. So I am 110% guaranteeing that there will be a video before Monday on my channel. So yeah,
Nice.
that's about it for the week.
Excellent. As for myself, I should be on ABF's channel tomorrow, and then Zach's channel as well at night. And then I think.
Why am I so tired? Nick doesn't fucking sleep. Like, Jesus Christ, bro.
I am a freak of nature.
Just keep going. Just keep going. The protein shakes keep me going. Yeah. But I won't be streaming Friday or Saturday. I've got personal stuff to attend to, and I am working on a video though of slamming a news article that likes to slander the GOAT J.R.R. Tolkien in Lord of the Rings. So I'm basically countering everything that is said in the article with factual information from Tolkien, from the books, his letters, and so forth. Just saying that these journalists know nothing about Tolkien. So hopefully that'll come out some point this week. And then next Monday night, we're talking about Hacksaw Ridge on Mask of the Mondays. And then, we'll be back here for episode 6 of Darkle. So go follow Vex, Gord, and Papa Pumpkin. Their links are in the description below if you're rewatching.
I think you mean Vex, Gooch, and Papa Pumpkin.
What did I say?
You said Vex, Gord, and Pumpkin. So, I mean, you said me twice, which I mean,
Vex,
maybe you're just being
Vex, Gord,
maybe I'm
Vex,
just that
Gordy,
good,
Vex, Gord / Papa Pumpkin. There we go. And then Gooch, Diabolical Souls. Their links are in the description below. And I appreciate everyone watching. Like the stream if you're rewatching this, or the video. Everyone in chat, you guys rock. And we'll see you guys soon enough.